Mr. Celis, for the last time, please identify your source.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to answer?
Mr. Chair, this is the fourth time I asked Mr. Celis this question. And every time I asked him this question, ang laki ng introduction, wala pa rin yung sagot. Pwede po ba this time, pag pinagbigyan natin siya magsalita, sabihin niya na po yung pangalan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Sinabi niyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo, ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi niyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi niyo, kinonfirm niyo na lalaki ng taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na ang nagsasabi, hindi na ito nanggagaling sa amin. Although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth. And nothing is more important than the truth. So I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
May I qualify, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to speak?
Yes, but before that, I'd like to remind you, and
I move to contempt, to cite for contempt Mr. Celis for on these two grounds under Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
there's a motion.
Second the motion.
There's a second. Any objections? There's a motion, duly seconded. Any objections from any member, Mr. Chairman, of this committee? There being no objections, on a unanimous vote, the Ka-Eric is cited for
Mr. Chairman, may I be
and
recognized?
ask the Sergeant of Arms to please take on Ka-Eric.
Mr. Chair.
The committee may punish any person for contempt by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, there being a quorum. And there are 6 grounds for contempt. One of which is letter E, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member of the committee or any misbehavior in the presence of the committee. So, Mr. Chair, we do not want to cite a resource person for contempt. Kaya nakikiusap kami sa iyo, Ka-Eric, na kung pwede, please respect this committee and observe proper decorum. Nasa rules po natin na you cannot speak if you are not recognized by the chair. Actually, naka-strike 1 na po kayo, Ka-Eric. Kanina, you were not recognized by the chair but you kept on talking. So again, may I advise Ka-Eric, we are not suppressing your rights, but also respect this committee and observe proper decorum.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, if I may continue.
Well, there was a question raised by the Honorable Suarez. Alam po ninyo, Ka-Eric, kung meron po kayong karapatan, may karapatan din po ang committee. Lahat po tayo may karapatan dito. So, ang tanong ko, yes or no? May tanong ko si Congressman J.J. Suarez, huwag na po natin pahabain. Yes or no?
I will refuse to answer, Your Honors, not because I disrespect this committee, but I will invoke my right, guaranteed by the Constitution, because I believe this committee cannot be above the law, especially the Constitution.
Can I just
The Honorable J.J. Suarez.
Yes. What right is that you are invoking, Mr. Celis?
The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees me for the guarantee of due process, and even the Soto law, and even the House rules. Constitutionally guaranteed rights, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, cannot be violated by any branch of the government.
Ka-Eric, may katanungan. Is that clear? Alam po ninyo, Ka-Eric, meron ba kayong kasamang abogado na yun?
May I answer?
Opo.
That's why I am requesting since last hearing that I may be given the counsel. Now, I will hire.
Alam niyo, if you keep going back, last year, ang tanong ko na yun.
I will hire Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rory Soplico as my personal choice.
Okay.
To do
so,
legal counsel.
everything that you say now is guided by your lawyer, who's
Not yet.
also here.
Not yet, sir, because they are not, Mr. Chairman, permitted and granted authority to be recognized as my legal counsel. That's why I'm
asking
requesting.
you, who is your lawyer in this case?
I'm hiring today, this afternoon, Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rory Soplico.
Are the lawyers accepting that mandate? Because remember, in the last hearing, you manifested that you are not representing Ka-Eric and Alpers because of the disclaimer issue. Are you accepting?
I'm accepting, Your Honor.
Attorney Rolly Suplico.
I am accepting, Your Honor.
Okay. So thank you very much. So everything that will be said on the book. Now, Ka-Eric, may abogado na po kayo. Yes or no?
May I request again, Congressman Honorable J.D. Suarez to rephrase the question, please.
Now, with the presence of your lawyer, it's just a little bit ironic that in the past few days, you've been on air talking about the hearing, talking about your opinions on about the hearing, and together with Attorney Mark Tolentino, I think there was a few episodes na magkasama pa kayong dalawa. So you're very vocal and you're very opinionated about your position. And last hearing, I just want to remind you, you apologized to the committee because the statements that you issued in your show, kasama ang bayan, tama po ba yan?
Yes, sir.
Laban kasama ang bayan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Sinabi niyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi niyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi nyo, kinonfirm nyo na lalaki ng taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na, ang nagsasabi, hindi na ito nanggagaling sa amin, although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth, and nothing is more important than the truth. So, I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
May I qualify, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to speak?
Yes, but before that, I'd like to remind you and the lawyers that under Section 13, the participation of counsel in this hearing for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall be limited to advising the legal rights of the witness. Is that clear? Attorney Tolentino and Attorney Suplico.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. That will only limited to that. Wala ko tayong coaching dito ha. Yes. And Kyrie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition. Congressman Suarez, sir.
Please answer straight
Yeah.
directly ha. Wala ko tayong paligoy-ligoy na sagot ko dito.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
can I give something?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. No,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no.
Please.
Just want to be enlightened. What is the decision of what is your decision regarding the prior motion made by Congressman Navarro?
Well, the motion was a point of order.
No.
He will only need a point of order. So he was declaring him out of
Thank you,
order.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes, proceed. Yes or no?
Yeah, thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Please answer directly ha. Huwag tayo
I will not answer it because I am protected by law as per advice in conference with my lawyers here. I am protected by the SOTO law. Unless the SOTO law is repealed, I will be under the protection of the SOTO law. Republic Act number 53.
Okay.
And the previous statements made, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, please, were made without the competent advice of legal counsel. That's why I was requesting humbly for this honorable committee chaired by Congressman Tambunting that all those testimonies regarding the testimonies I made here can be stricken off the record if it may be considered as a request.
Okay.
Because those are inadmissible.
Ano pong, may tanong po ko, kayo kala nyo, lagi nyo sinasabi Soto Law. Ano pong portion ng Soto Law ang tinutukoy mo? Anong particular provision sa Soto Law? Pakibasa po.
I will, Mr. Chairman, I will request my counsel to give me the particular provision, or they may be allowed to reference the particular
No, we are
provision.
requesting you.
I don't have the copy of the SOTO.
Then I will suggest that the council give him a copy of the Soto Law. Because we don't, you're only supposed to, like I said earlier, hindi mo kayo pwede magsalta. Yan magsalta si Kyrie.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to read the pertinent provision from the SOTO? Without prejudice, this is section 1 of 11458 as amended. Without prejudice to his inability or ability under the civil and criminal laws, any publisher, owner, or duly recognized or accredited journalist, whether reporter, writer, contributor, opinion writer, editor, columnist, manager of media, or other media practitioner involved in the writing, editing, production, and dissemination of news or mass circulation of any print, broadcast, wire service organization, or electronic mass media, including cable TV, television, and its variants, cannot be compelled to reveal the source of any news item, report, or information appearing or being reported or disseminated through other or the said media which was related in confidence or reported in confidence. Above mentioned media practitioners, unless the court or the House of Representatives or the Senate or any committee of Congress finds that such revelation is demanded by the national security of the state.
Para nagulat na sa binabasa niya eh.
Mr. Chairman, can I explain the...
Dapat hindi ko na binasa yung provided.
I have to answer first the position raised by the witness. Ang unang provision sinabi nyo, accredited journalist. Kayo ba'y accredited journalist? Kyrie, kayo pong tinatanong ko. Kayo po ba'y accredited journalist?
The accreditation or the license to practice journalism does not require any particular organization or government entity to give us license or accreditation for broadcast. If you are referring, Mr. Chairman, to KBP, membership to KBP is voluntary. KBP is not an absolute regulatory power for broadcast.
So,
they are like an NGO and private organization.
Ano pong basihan nyo, basihan ng provision niya, nung sinabi niya kailangan accredited, kayo nag-cite ng batas, kayo nag-cite ng prohibition.
Mr. Chairman,
Accredited journalist, hindi mo kayo, sino dapat mag-accredit?
SMNI is an accredited and franchise-granted media. And therefore, the prerogative in the decision for editorial decision who can broadcast or cannot broadcast in their station rests with the franchise granted to them. Therefore, hindi po kami required na maghingi ng pahintulot sa gobyerno na mag-broadcast kami doon. Dahil kami po ay bahagi ng isang media organization na may legitimate existence as granted by franchise.
Yes, but remember, may disclaimer din na, kung yan ang gagawin na agreement ko, may disclaimer po last hearing yan. Ang sabi ng SMNI, hindi po nila pananagutan ang gagawin nyo. At hindi na nga rin kayo empleyado, sabi nila. So, ergo, hindi ho namin agad-agad kaya tanggapin yung inyong mungkahi. Pangalawa, I would like to remind you that this is a house inquiry which is provided for by the Soto Law. And third, katanungan ko, security of state, binanggit nyo. Ano po ibig nyo? Ito ba yung security of state? Tingin nyo itong issue ito? Which is an exception?
Ang 1.8 billion na pagtatanong ko po, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, ay hindi po threat to national security. Kapag ito po ay tinatanong ng mga media practitioners at ng mamamayan patungkol sa tamang pangangalaga sa pondo ng bayan. And I believe Congress is not exempted from public transparency and accountability in the disposal of public funds.
Alam po ninyo.
That is not an issue of public national security.
Yes. Huli ang katanungan. Alam po niyo yung security of state sa amin. Ito po yung sinabi niyo na empleyado ng Senado ang nagbigay sa amin. Yan po ay seguridad ng ating institusyon, seguridad ng ating bayan. So kaya po, ito po ay hindi nyo po pwede i-cite ang Sotolo. Mabuti po, malaman nyo na po ang posisyon. At po yung pinag-aralan po natin, may abogado po kayo, dahil po kami mga abogado dito, may mga researchers po kami. At ang Sotolo ay hindi po applicable dito sa sinasite nyo. Sa tatlong dianong po, pare-pareho, hindi po pwede yan. The Honorable J.J.
Thank you very
Suarez,
much.
you are recognized.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So let's just go back to points that have already been established. Number one, the statement that you issued were false. You admitted it and you apologized for it last hearing. Number two, you mentioned that your source is from Senate. And Caselis, Mr. Celis, the law that you have just stated that you sought to use to protect your right and not to reveal your source apparently has been ruled cannot be applied. So therefore, I'm asking you again, dahil may kinalaman na ito, may mabigat po ang kinalaman, ang repercussions nito. You're talking about interparliamentary relationships between the House of Representatives and between the Senate. And none other than the Senate President has already issued a statement about this. So I don't think you see the gravity of the statements that you have issued between both houses in Congress. Now, Mr. Celis, for the last time, please identify your source.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to answer?
Mr. Chair, this is the fourth time I asked Mr. Celis this question. And every time I asked him this question, ang laki ng introduction, wala pa rin yung sagot. Pwede po ba this time, pag pinagbigyan natin siya magsalita, sabihin niya na po yung pangalan?
Kasi kung magbibigay po kayo ng pangalan o hindi.
May I request that I be allowed to confirm in my legal counsel, please?
Oh, they're right beside you. They can confirm.
May I request for at least a
Yes.
1-minute conference with them?
Please.
Pag-uusapan niyo wala.
Manix, saan yung committee? Secretary? Madam Justice.
Mr. Chairman?
Sarap.
Session resumes. Okay, please proceed.
In our constitutional democracy, only the courts can interpret the laws, not Congress. So I will not answer that question because I believe Congress does not have the right to interpret laws.
Okay.
It is with Congress to pass laws, but not to interpret laws.
Salamat po.
I take back my statements.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, then the Honorable Kobe Chapos, recognized.
Mr. Chair, in the sense of fairness, since we really want to know the source, para malaman natin kung ano talaga yung pinagkakalat nito, would we allow Mr. Celis, Eric, to reveal the source in executive session? Would the chair allow?
Yes, Eric. It's an executive session. an option for you. It's an executive session, an option for you. There's a suggestion by the Honorable Toby Chanco na Botas na kung ayaw niyo po sabihin sa harap ng camera at sa publiko, okay na ba, executive session? We will call for executive session now. Para lahat po ng options ay binigay na po namin sa inyo. Kyrie.
That would be very dangerous for other media practitioners present here because it will create a very dangerous and negative precedence on the protection of source provided by law. I will refuse it. Your Honor,
Salamat po.
Mr. Chair,
The Honorable Toby Chanco is still recognized for a follow-up question.
No, I just wanted to manifest that the reason that we're suggesting an executive session is to show na tayo naman, hindi naman tayo, na binibigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon na i-reveal. Kung talagang gusto niya pangalagaan, at least an executive session. But it seems ayaw niya pa rin po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, it is very clear that Mr. Celis does not want to answer the question to reveal the source, whether in this inquiry or in executive session. So therefore, Mr. Chair, under Section 11, the power to contempt, letter E, grounds for contempt is for a resource person refusal to answer any relevant inquiry. Actually, Mr. Chair, Mr. Celis has already violated two provisions of Section 11. The first one, acting in a disrespectful manner, and the second one, which is very more important rather, is his refusal to answer the question in a relevant inquiry. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to contempt, to cite for contempt Mr. Celis for on these two grounds under Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion.
Second the motion.
There's a second. Any objections? There's a motion, duly seconded. Any objections from any member
Mr. Chairman.
of this committee? There being no objections, on a unanimous vote, the Eric is cited for
Mr. Chairman, may I
and
recognize
ask the Sergeant of Arms to please take on.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
Can we request the Sergeant at Arms to practice his responsibility after the hearing? Because there's still other details that
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Yes, the point of order, the Honorable.
The motion was for Mr. Celis to be cited in contempt. And I think there's supposed to be a second motion.
There was a second.
No, the motion should be for him to be detained. Where? Because under our law, the contempt of the committee shall be deemed contempt of the House. The person cited in this section may, upon order of the committee, be detained in such place as the chairperson or acting chairperson may designate. In other words, we have to decide where to detain him and for how long, Mr. Chair. That's supposed to be the second motion.
Mr. Chair, I believe with regards to the duration, it will be up to this committee to decide, and of course, to Mr. Celis, kung kailan po niyo sasagutin yung tanong natin, and then maybe we could lift the contempt. But as long as hindi pa niya sinasagot yung tanong natin, the contempt will remain.
Mr. Chairman, final statement before you po, Kinulong.
Mr. Chair, I move for
Can I have a final statement, please? Before pa ako magpapakulong, I request the committee.
Mr. Chair, silence requested, the Honorable Petitioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In an earlier motion, Mr. Chair, we have already approved to cite for contempt Mr. Celis. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to detain him in the premises of Congress. as per our rules on section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion, duly seconded, the chair objections, the motion of the Honorable Pinten is, okay? So,
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee, may be given 1 minute, please. Oh, because it is required two-thirds po bumoto.
The Honorable Paduano is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, ang ano lang, point of inquiry lang, kasi we are not allowed to have a detention for indefinite period of time. So we have to establish how long. And the lifting of such detention will depend on the members of this committee, of course, with the cooperation of the person in contempt. So we have to establish how long, because we are not allowed to detain indefinitely based on so many jurisprudence, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
The Honorable Ako is recognized.
yes, there is a decision by the Supreme Court that we cannot detain a person indefinitely. And therefore, may I move that we come up with a definite period for detention insofar as Mr. Celis is concerned. For violation of paragraph C of section 11 of the rules.
Grabe. Tukor.
The Honorable Ako, would you like to make a motion?
May I move that Mr. Celis be detained for being cited in contempt for violation of section 11, paragraph C, refusal to answer any relevant inquiry by the members of this committee for a period of 30 days.
Mr. Chairman.
You will go on unless you pass a motion for reconsideration. We have done this in the different committees already.
Mr. Chair,
There's a motion.
the reason why we cited Mr. Celis for contempt is because he does not want to answer the question. That is precisely why he violated paragraph C. So why will we give him a timeline? Eh kung kahit hindi pala siya sumagot, papalabasin natin si Mr. Celis. The reason why we cited him for contempt, eh gusto nga natin nasagutin niya yung relevant inquiry natin, nasagutin niya kung sino yung source niya. So I believe that we should not give a timeline, Mr. Chair.
The jurisprudence, Mr. Chair, I submit to the wisdom of this committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, session is suspended.
Grabe. Like tayo guys. Like, salamat po. Grabe to. Like mga kababayan, ang init ng labanan dito ngayon. Ang init ng issue. Kaya like nyo na mga kababayan, like and subscribe.
Kung saan ang pinaglalaban niya, pwede ako dito ano, 30 days lahat na hindi po siya pwede po na umalis. So hindi po siya pwedeng gamitin yun kung sotulo. Ano, ang tanong mo live?
Ilang minutes yan?
Depende kung kailan i-write.